That's right. Greetings, fellow Armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and I am with the final three of So You Want to Be an Imagineer, Season 20, in alphabetical order, the right alphabetical order this time. It's OSU Phantom.
Woo!
It's pie on my cake.
Woo! So much.
Is that a Kermit tea sip right there? And then it's Tegan. We got Tegan in the house.
Woo!
All right, everybody. This is going to be crazy. Goofy.
And for the second episode in a row, Tiki does not introduce his co-host.
I literally just said you.
No, that was different. You were addressing me.
I was addressing you, yes. You jumped the gun on that.
Hello, everybody. I'm Goofy Yuck Yuck, Tiki's better half.
Okay. So, Goofy, the results are in.
The results are in.
The results are definitely in.
Yep.
So, before we get to the results, let's take a look. What we're going to do is we're going to speed round the project, World of Tomorrow. Not World of Tomorrow. I'm sorry. The World Legacy project.
We can talk about World of Tomorrow.
We will talk about World of Tomorrow, Tegan. Don't worry. We're talking about Legacy, a Disney park. The link is not in the description yet. I forgot to include it. It will be at the end of the show. Sorry about that. But guys, y'all blindsided me with how lengthy this project was.
It's been fun of this season, honestly.
I finished the project with 20 minutes to go, and Goofy and I had to figure out some tech stuff. So I definitely intend to write out some detailed feedback because I'm just going to be honest, this is straight up one of my favorite final projects ever in the game's history. So yeah, I really like it. So we're going to take 1 minute apiece. Goofy and I are going to give our initial thoughts. Then we're going to go over the hub area, and then the three main lands. Goofy, you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, so we will start with our initial thoughts. So yeah, like I said, I honestly think y'all just really killed this prompt. I really love this prompt, and I think you really did a good job of combining the museum elements with new and improved reimaginings. Goofy?
That was the thing that stood out to me, is that it was obviously there was the temptation, right, to just jam pack in every single thing that you possibly could that's closed, but it was done in a really cohesive way. I didn't feel, looking at the map itself, it's you see the connection that everything has. Everything is telling a story that makes a lot of sense, and I think that you guys did a great job picking out what to bring back and how to improve it so that it makes more sense and is more likely to stick around, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, great attraction selection, really, really incredible transitions that I'm sure we'll get into. Just all around very strong.
Why, thank you.
All right.
That was a trans joke.
So now we will get into the entry/hub, including the Walt Disney Legacy Museum and the Mickey Mouse Park. Goofy, I'll start the clock, but I'll let you start the conversation this time. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, I thought that the idea of doing the Mickey Mouse Park was really creative. That wouldn't have been something top of mind for me. I was really impressed by it. I think it serves as an awesome idea for Main Street. And then the whole museum concept, honestly, it's like the Imagineering golf course that we had taken to the next level as far as museumifying it all. And incredible start to the project, I thought, really hammering home the legacy aspect.
Yeah, definitely. I thought the Mickey Mouse Park was, like you said, a really, really original Main Street. It's a great kind of never built concept that nobody ever really brings up as far as it would be cool to see in real life, in spite of the fact that it's literally the genesis of everything. And the museum, you're thinking the mini golf, but I'm thinking this is the Walt Disney Family Museum on steroids. And I worked there. So yeah, it was a really well done museum.
Yeah, and I also want to note the originality, not just with the Mickey Mouse Park, but the originality to be like, okay, we're not going to do a traditional main street. Like, it's going to be greenery and an actual park you're walking into. Super cool idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, World of Yesterday. So first, one of my nitpicks with the parks just in general is I do think y'all crammed a little bit too many sublands into each of your lands. But having said that, I think the transitions here work really well. I think I was really impressed with World of Yesterday, essentially kind of being like a historical kind of timeline of America in a way.
Yeah, I honestly laughed whenever I read that this was you guys described this as a boutique park, because this is in no way a boutique park. This is a full-fledged theme park, and y'all, I loved. I'm a huge history buff, and like seeing the way that you laid it out, where like you're going through American history, but you're doing it in a really a way that tells a really great story. It makes it very accessible to everybody. I thought. Was very impressive, and again, great choice in attractions from like Western Expedition and Great Movie Ride in the same like overarching land is like wild and a really cool idea.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm just making sure I get these names right. World of It. It's not like they're very complicated though. World of Fantasy. Yeah, I think Pie on My Cake once again just knocks it out of the park, dude. That Superstar limo is just incredible. I think to me that's the crown jewel of this whole project. And then not only that, but like to fit Superstar limo into a fantasy land. Again, I think it's wild that we have a great movie ride in a frontier land and a Superstar limo in a fantasy land. And just overall, I love Maelstrom having a bigger facade. Just very well done. Although one thing I will nitpick is that instead of the studio tour, y'all really should have done Disaster Mountain. Come on, y'all are really holding out on like Disaster Mountain.
I promise we'll finish it one day.
All right, Goofy.
Yeah, there was a lot to love about this section. Just a couple of my favorite things. I absolutely loved the Osborne Lights restaurant. Such a cool idea, honestly. Bringing back, kind of an adventurers club. I loved Maelstrom and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in the same lagoon is wild. And of course, I have to thank you very much for bringing in the Chicken of the Sea pirate ship. That made me very happy.
Although I will say, Bountiful Valley Farm was in this land, right?
Yeah.
How the hell do you not make a tractor joke, Pie? Like, seriously, I was actively looking for a tractor joke.
Honestly, at that point, that was one of the last things I wrote. And because like,
That's totally fair.
I'm tired.
I just want to be able to buy a cat hat.
All right, and also, like I said, I think Superstar Limo was like the crown jewel, but I think my single favorite like moment in the project is that transition through the Rainbow Tunnel to the World of Tomorrow. I mean, just
that was so cool.
I forget if it was me or Tegan that thought of that, or maybe even OSU, even though it was neither of those lands. But the second that was said, it was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna be a cool thing.
That was your idea, I think.
To
do that.
I didn't mean to be patting myself on the back like that. I thought it was you.
No, it's okay. It was an awesome idea. I loved it too.
Take credit.
All right, and last we have World of Tomorrow. Tegan, this was a very, very cool way for you to round out your season, specifically because, you are obviously known for the e-tickets. That was one of your big things this season. And so I really appreciated that last bit of like context that you added at the end. Because I got to be honest, when I was initially reading through this, it was good. I was like, okay, this is a lot of good stuff, but nothing is really particularly jumping out at me. There's no big e-ticket. And then I read that last thing and like, it's not meant to be. And it's meant to be like a very free-form exploratory kind of land. And I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I think that's a really, really cool way for you to kind of like bookend your creative journey this season.
Yeah, I also loved the way that was done. You have great attractions. I want to say choosing Star Tours to be your modern day attraction, great idea, because realistically it doesn't need to be around anymore, and it's a good addition to this land. I thought that the way that you adapted all the different attractions, making them more accessible, making them translate better to the modern day, I thought was really well done. And yeah, it really rounded out your season, rounded out the project extremely well. I just overall very, very impressed with this project.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I love your conclusion, by the way. That was my favorite part of the project. Yes.
And
we do want to
honestly,
be
the conclusion
Imagineers.
kind of leads into something I want to announce off the top, which is, y'all, this has been a fantastic season. And honestly, the way that this season has panned out, and the way that this final three has gone down, and the way that the results specifically have gone down, which you'll see what I mean in a minute. We can't top this. This is the final season of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. Like, hands down, there will never be another So You Want to Be an Imagineer season. But with that said, I do want to keep hosting. So I do want to stay in the community hosting. This legacy game of So You Want to Be an Imagineer, I want to maybe take some gameplay elements from So You Want to Be an Imagineer that work. But until next season, no, like 20 seasons is perfect for me. Like, I don't want to be Survivor where I'm literally just like running shit into the ground at that point. Like, so yeah. Like I said, there will be a Tiki hosted game in the future. Make no mistake. It's just So You Want to Be an Imagineer, the actual game itself. This is it. This is the end. All right. With that in mind, let's get to the votes. But first, we are going to play the Rite of Passage. And basically what we're going to do with the Rite of Passage, I want to thank Pi for editing this together for me. We're going to play a couple Rite of Passage clips in between each vote that we reveal. Just as a way to kind of like round out the season and kind of get everyone sort of like, give everyone one last hurrah. And yeah, we will start. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Rite of Passage is a thing that was done in Survivor for a long time that we brought over here. But basically, after last night's show, the final three stuck around to basically record tributes for every player that was involved in the season. So Tiki picked out the best quotes, best moments from it, and Pi put it into a video for us.
And I'm not going to play the video itself. I'm just going to play the audio, but the video is like exactly how this setup looks now. So,
Yep.
it's just I would have to like hold the phone up, and I don't feel like doing that. So y'all are just going to have to handle the audio. So let's start with the first couple people, then I'll reveal the first vote. This is Magic Kingdom Forever.
Was he on OSU? Was he on your team? Or
he was on your team.
Don't even remember that. Like, it was like, it's too bad. Like, it would have been fun to see like what they could have done in the game, but obviously really didn't get much of a chance to see anything from them, especially considering I didn't even realize that they were on my team.
If I remember, they were one of the people that Space Mountain recruited because he saw that they had like a lot of potential. So, I mean, if Space is vouching for someone, it would be really interesting to see what they could do. I hope they give another shot at competition later if they want to.
Yeah, maybe they'll participate in like a one-sentence comp, or hey, what if it's coming up this summer? Japan.
All right, 15th place Basket Buddy.
I remember when I was new back in season 14, Basket Buddy was like the player there. Like, he was doing like computer generated like models, like 3D models, CGI stuff. He was working in Blender. He had like full ride throughs of different concepts he was doing. His writing was astounding. He was like the all around powerhouse. I don't know if he went on to win season 14.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does not surprise me. Like, I remember like 1 or 2 rounds in, he did the DuckTales Tower of Terror type thing, just seeing it and being like, oh, so that's who's winning.
All right. Okay. And the first vote that I will go ahead and reveal is, in fact, Tegan. All right. 1 vote Tegan. Now we'll get into 14th place, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
It's a really different beast, especially if they did come from the one sentence competition. Like, because that's so much just the ideals. That's basically brainstorming the competition.
Well, I think the other thing was that with them, they were now I'm thinking about it, they were like very big on individual projects as well. So that was also an adjustment that they were happy to make.
Naturally, coming from like the world of one sentence comps, that would be like what they have the most experience in. So I get it. I get how like when you go from that to a team game, it can be a little challenging. Whereas like I think going from a team game to a solo game like that is probably easier.
13th place, Theme Park Priest.
And I'm pretty sure he had something that could have saved him that round, and he was debating. Yeah, he was debating whether or not he should save himself, but to your point, Tegan, because he had the retreat coming up, he was just I can't remember if he said it didn't seem fair or just it didn't make sense for him to do that, and just
If he would have saved himself, it would have been saving himself, like, and then going into the next round, he wouldn't have been safe, and he was about to leave on the trip, so I understand why he didn't.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because then you're gonna have someone else potentially get out that shouldn't have got out that early.
Right.
So it's a noble move on his part.
Oh yeah.
Just unfortunate. I mean, more than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it'll be fun to watch him continue to do what he does on the forums and sign up start in 2 weeks.
All right.
No, the Theme Park Priest elimination, that was really the moment that drove home this is an all-stars game. This isn't a regular competition.
Yeah.
I don't want to say every competition has obvious eliminations, but most competitions it's like, I'll sign up for this, and then the person realizes what it is and like, oh, no, I don't enjoy this. And it's like, okay, you get halfway through the game just by showing up. Theme Park Priest drove home like, oh, no, everyone here is bringing the A game. No one's safe here. There's no easy eliminations.
There really weren't any, and I agree with you. This was the point that started, because after that, every single elimination was brutal.
Right. Okay, next up, we've got OSU. That's 1 vote OSU, 1 vote Tegan, 5 votes left. Next up, we have 12th place Imagineer Brandon.
Imagineer Brandon has had some really good showings in some other comps that he's been part of. And so, like, I think it was just by this time, it's like everybody who was left in the game is, like, really playing hard and really trying, bringing their best. So, it was just...
Yeah. Like, they definitely have talent. And I know they usually tend to fly on the radar and do smaller things. When you look at what they do in competitions, you're like, oh no, they can do this. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
But they generally just let themselves fade into the background a little bit and keep the smaller contributions.
I mean, he made it to the finals of One Little Spark 3. He was in the final 6 of that, so that speaks to something for him.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we'll see him around more in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's one of those players that kind of Pi was talking about where it's like he would pretty much make it to the final 7 if it was a regular season and not an all-star season, just on the basis of showing up. 11th place, Shannon.
This may have been the single most difficult one to watch. This one broke my heart. I love Shannon. They are such a positive presence, and I have not seen them really around the forum since.
I haven't either, and that worries me.
I know. I really hope they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Just overall. I mean, I'm not trying to say that their elimination caused some thing or whatever, but I just hope that they're doing well. They really they shine so hard in the Taylor Swift project, and I love that for them. and Shannon got to the finals of Sorcerer's Apprentice 7, and like is always such a great presence, and I really wanted to see them get a little bit further in this one too.
There's someone who's just fun to walk with, just fun to be around. Like, even if they're not always like the top of their teams doing the biggest e-tickets round after round or anything like that, I always feel like when they're on a team, I'm like, yay, them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Next vote. And these first three aren't going to be a surprise because I literally already announced that all three of you got at least one vote. It's Pie. All right. And then just so we don't have to all stare awkwardly at each other while we're playing the sound clips, I'm just going to put up the season logo. All right. 10th place, Lizzie.
I love B. Like, B is so much fun. Like, I know they usually wind up not making it super far, like, to the finals in these competitions, just because you don't always have, like, the most detailed or thorough write-ups, but they have a real spark to them, a real creativity. Like, when you read something they do, you're like, yes, you have it. You have something that makes you and your writing unique, and that shines through, and I love seeing that.
Mm-hmm. And to your point, Tegan, I think that this season they just ran out of gas. I know that they were struggling from writer's block a bit, so it just seemed, to your point, that they just ran out. But I really enjoyed working with them on the small times that I did. And I appreciated, like, when I opened Walt's Vault at the beginning of the season and got the 2-time MTO MVPs right up first, making the case I want it. You know what? I appreciate that kind of attention. I'm rewarded.
That was really cool to see, too, like, because he doesn't always make, like make a move like that or whatever. It was like, it's almost like it was, like, half joking. But, like, then they got it. That was, like, awesome. I loved it.
9th place, Space.
When Space dropped out, that for me was the moment where, like, the game kind of just shifted trajectory a bit, where it's like, it's anyone's game at this point. Space, in my mind, was the favorite kind of going in to the jury portion of the competition, and again, when they dropped out, I was like, oh, all right then.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Space has been, like, a mentor in a lot of ways for me since I, like, got involved in the forums, and he is such a positive presence on the forums and always, like, trying to make sure that everybody is doing well and in games that everybody's getting involved. And he does so much for not just, like, a game, this game or whatever, but just for the community in general. I know that he wanted to go out on a super high note, and I know that it was almost more important to him to, like, you know, go out on a big project that he could be really proud of because he was project manager for that round, and then have that be kind of like the send off for him for this game. You know, so I'm happy for him in that way. But Space, I've seen Space carry entire projects on his own. And yeah, right, and win like rounds that way. Like, so I mean, like, yeah, like Space could have been sitting here if he wanted to be.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just going to take the opportunity really quick because now we're getting into the actually interesting votes since I spoiled the first three, essentially. I want to shout out some comments here. Monkey says, replace the millionaire building with Swifty LaRue's Bourgeois.
I second that.
Space says, imagine if the judges didn't like the project and we were all here to witness a live roast. Yeah, you know what, guys? That Legacy Park, it sucked.
I mean, that was the original plan, but we just decided to take it easy on you.
Like Maelstrom, really?
I feel so
Honestly,
gaslit
like,
right now.
Imagine building Communicore. Like,
all right. Monkey says, almost quipped rite of passage. Is that the Fantasia thing with the dinosaurs? I'm surprised no one's made a Flight of Passage joke out of the Rite of Passage thing.
Oh my gosh, that was right there too.
Right. Space says, I too hope Shannon is okay. Yeah, I very much like I should probably reach out to Shannon. Keeper Colby says, Big Tiki. Goofy says that was his nickname in our private chat.
That's so dumb.
Monkey saying, staring awkwardly at each other during audio clicks is authentic, man. #artiste. Pi says, it was fun to try and think of different things to do with my face while listening. React with surprise to things you heard last. Yeah, react to surprise that things you literally said last night. Like, not even the edited clips are a spoiler because that's been in the chat for all day, basically. Let's see. Bring back the faces. We just all look left and right like a flashback sitcom. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for the kind words. Hope I wasn't being gaslit. So, Space. And then they chose against the Mickey Mouse Park name for a reason. Oh, God. All right. So, got 4 votes left. I'm going to go ahead and reveal the next vote. It is going to be for Pi.
Woo!
All right.
Woo.
That's 2 votes Pi, 1 vote Tegan, 1 vote OSU, 3 votes left. Okay, next up on our itinerary here, let's get to Disney Dad in 8th place.
This dad.
Love that guy. He has such a great sense of humor in his projects.
Yes.
He's so good at like multimedia stuff too. Like he makes. I remember there was a Lego round, and I want to say season 18 of this, where he did a projection on the Empire State Building. Like obviously not a real one.
Whoa.
He pulled it off in a way that it looked like it was a real thing, and he just was like, "Yeah, I can put something together today." I'm like, makes it look effortless when he does things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Disney Dad was somebody who, like, I was afraid that, like, if they got this far, like, I was really concerned about, like, because of, like, what they're capable of, with, like, from a technical standpoint, and what was the one? It was their roller coaster they did for the Nicktoon project got into such detail with the technical stuff and everything. It's like when Dizdad decides to like go 100%, it's like game over. Like he just goes so hard that I'm like, how do you compete with that?
Yeah, for real. 7th place, Brer Panther.
Brer Panther, dude. Like he had such a strong underdog story this round. Like it was like he was just like the dude that kept going.
The little Imagineer that could.
Yes.
I remember back when Brer Panther was new and didn't really do anything, and then I got like busy with schools. I was away from the boards for like a year, and I came back, and all of a sudden Brer Panther was pulling off these pictures, and I thought, well, that's a neat reference that you found on Google. What show is that from? And then I realized, oh, you can just do that. Incredibly talented artist. Really started to come into their own with writing this round too. I feel like the only reason they didn't make it even further is with the Nintendo prompt. There was some kind of miscommunication about how duties were being divided up between, I think, him and Monkey on the Mario Galaxy spinner, and Brer Panther just kind of wasn't able to handle that.
Yeah,
and then find a way to like shine, set themselves in that project too.
Yeah, I think he kind of got lost in that project. And
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed with Brer sometimes that like he'll Usually he has a little bit of a defeatist attitude, like where he just kind of assumes he's going to get eliminated or something.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. And I hope we can help him get beyond that as a player, because
I feel like this season was a good step for that.
I think so too. Yeah, because his art is phenomenal. Like if we were doing a game that was completely centric around like your artwork, like Brer would be on the podium, right? Like easily. So like, but he had a couple of attractions he wrote for in the game that were like, I remember I was like, oh, okay.
Pi says, like when La La Land won the one sentence comp. Monkey says, can't wait for Steve Harvey to come in and say that he'd announced the wrong name for Miss Philippines is the actual winner. Yeah, well, no, the votes are calculated. Votes are in. Next vote is going to be OSU Phantom. So that means we have 1 vote Tegan, 2 votes OSU, 2 votes Pi, 2 votes left. So yeah, obviously, guys, very close game. Y'all, like, I want to emphasize, like, no matter what happens in these next couple votes, all the jury was very conflicted on where to go. We heard that multiple times, right, Goofy?
Yeah, 100%. There were so many people that were like, I really had no idea what I'm going to do. Several people took like the entire 24 hours to make their decision. So, yeah, I told several people too. I'm very glad that I was not the person that
Right. So, no matter what happens, guys, I just want to, like you all, this is a legendary Final 3 right here. Probably the best Final 3 we've ever had, I would wager to say. So, all right. Next up in 6th place, of course, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Dark Peregrine.
Okay.
Oh my God, Pi! I just noticed that little edit you did with the filter. That's great. Hold on, I want to show that off. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry, that's awesome.
Some kind of miscommunication about how duties would.
Even if I'm doing anything, I'm gonna find something.
That's too good to not show off. Okay, sorry, guys.
Wasn't able to handle that. And then find a way to
I know we already went through this. I know.
Yeah, I think he kind of got lost in that project.
Yeah,
I noticed
we all love Brer Panther.
Yes, we do.
He has a little bit of a defeatist attitude, like where he's just kind
Okay,
of.
I'm gonna try and fast forward just a little bit.
He wrote in the game that is his love for Rockwalls.
God, and I went too far. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Spoiler alert. We like the Rockwalls.
We love the Rockwalls, Peregrine.
Big Rockwall fan.
Writing base, but they're phenomenal.
This is too far too. This is also Peregrine. Oh my God, this is a mess.
And his love of Rockwalls, he wrote in the game that were like. I remember I was like, oh.
Okay, I think this is. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on.
Peregrine is, he's on the podium, right?
Okay.
Like easily. So like, but he had a couple of attractions he wrote in the game that were like, I remember I was like, oh,
This is way too much effort just to show off a simple editing. Here we go. Bam! Look at that. Look at that transition.
Yeah.
All right.
Incredibly strong Imagineer and a great writer. Like this, he'll do projects sometimes that maybe they don't have a lot of visuals. It's like very writing based, but they're phenomenal. And his attention to detail, and his love of Rockwalls, that just defines Peregrine. Like I that's what I admire most about him is his love for Rockwalls.
Yeah, easily birthed the meme of the season.
Ace was one of my picks for the winner, like right off the bat. before the season even began. They're one of the most all-around players. Like, Disney Dad's got the humor and the AV stuff. Pergron's got the writing that they excel at. Everyone has something they excel at. Ace is someone who's just, I'm good at all the stuff at once.
I think I literally called him like the Super Mario of the season.
Yeah.
He's just well-rounded in everything.
He really is.
The only thing that ever really works against him is that being so well-rounded everywhere, sometimes it almost fades into, everything's good there. Whereas when people have one thing they stand out with, that helps them specifically stand out.
That's true. Like, if you're so well-rounded that you don't have that one thing that you're known for, like, I get that for sure. It was really fun getting to actually work with him this time because, like, I remember, he was never on my team in Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then in, last So You Want to Be an Imagineer, like, we got to the merger, and then him and I were on the block against each other, and Ace went out, and I was like, oh, I don't get to work with Ace. Never mind. So that was like a personal goal I actually had this time was I want to do something with Ace, and then we got to do 2 projects together that we like kind of teamed up on. So that was awesome. It was fun getting to work with him. He's all around a really nice guy too. Just like a really
so nice.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I hadn't been planning to use the zombie PO MVP just because I was like, let's just. But when Ace was eliminated the first time, and it was such a hard elimination because he had extenuating circumstances, I was like, nah, I think they have more to show. And then I was like, wait, I can do a face crack and do this during the show. That was my little moment where I was like, you know what? We're going to do this right now.
I kid you not,
I have gone back and watched all of y'all react to that multiple times because that was so much fun.
All right. Okay. So we have 2 votes left. We will reveal one now, then listen to their testimony about Monkey, and then reveal the last vote. I love how OSU just gets up right when I'm about to reveal a vote. That's very good timing, Brendan. All right. Anyways. Okay. Next vote. Pie. So that is 3 votes Pie, 2 votes Tegan, 2 votes OSU, 1 vote Tegan, 1 vote left. Monkey, here is your testimonial.
Much fun.
Like, Monkey made me PO MVP one time, but he had that damn power. So, like, that whole project, I was like, Monkey's gonna fucking backstab me. So, like, I remember, I went all out that project and, like, did so much shit. I'm gonna be so fucking active. He can't backstab me or something. It wasn't like a personal thing, like a suspicious thing. It was just like, I'm like, that feels like a game move. And I know Monkey is he's a, So You Want to Be an Imagineer player. There's like some players that kind of gravitate towards different games or always participate in certain games. And he's one for this game. So I was just like that's a game move. Like, PO MVP the person and then take him off with your damn power, you guys. I remember being like, I didn't sleep much that week because I was just like, put me on the block.
During the Nintendo Challenge, when he also said Star Fox, it was kind of like a Kill Bill moment between him and I at first, where I'm like, but we ended up working really together on it. And he himself said he wasn't super knowledgeable about it, but he did a lot of research. So I really appreciated the effort that he put in to go above and beyond to learn about it and put that in. So I really enjoyed working with Monkey.
He's a great person to work with, and he's really easy to work with too. Like, I don't usually like splitting parts of the project if I can help it. I like, this is what I'm doing.
I was like, couple up with people, and I really appreciated that.
Yep. Yeah. Like, I remember the Avatar round. Me and Monkey was one of the people, the pair walking on the boat ride thing. I forget what it was called. And I was like, I'm doing something with someone else. I'd rather just do something myself, even if it's a small thing, because usually that's a lot easier. But I was working with Monkey, I was like, this is so easy to do this.
Yeah, I think that is his big strength.
Yeah.
It's very ironic that you're like, oh, I'd rather do something by myself, and then a few projects later.
Right.
You got your wish.
You did.
Yay.
And the final vote.
Hey, Tiki, we're probably going to want to see everybody's reactions.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Especially mine.
And
Is
the
that
final
a new
vote.
hat, Goofy? You're looking good.
All right. Just as a reminder, we have 2 votes pie. I'm sorry. I'm fucking this up. 3 votes pie, 2 votes OSU, 1 vote Tegan, and the final vote is OSU. Tegan, I'm very sorry. That means you are officially our 3rd place finisher. You rocked it this season. You really did. And I know how much you wanted the win, and I'm very sorry we couldn't give it to you. But I just want you to know you were easily, as far as playing the game of getting to the end and making sure that there was no chance in hell you were ever going to be voted out by us. I mean, you dominated that shit more than almost anyone in the game's history. There was no feasible way you were ever going to not make the end.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I would not have wanted you to get me the win. I'd want to have earned the win. And I mean, Pi and OSU also brought it this whole game. So obviously it's a little disappointing to not win, but there's no shame in finishing 3rd to the 2 of you. So, and wow, having it come down to a tie vote is incredible. But thank you. I had a blast.
So we get to give you the next best thing.
Oh, God.
As the 3rd place finisher, you are officially the 8th member of the jury.
I knew it. Oh my God, you fuckers.
You're welcome to take a little bit of time to consider it. You can talk it out, whatever, but Tiki and I weren't going to make this decision.
Oh, hell no.
This is some transphobic bullshit. Oh my God. Okay, I have to. So I'm the final vote.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
If you want, I don't know, Goofy, should we allow OSU and Pi to make one last pitch, or should it just be based entirely on what do you think?
I thought about that about halfway through this show. I was like, we should have talked about that. Tegan, do you feel like you need to hear anything more after everything that happened last night?
We spent I think we're okay. I mean,
okay.
To be honest, I think I can kind of talk myself through this in a minute here. What?
Y'all, this is hands down. This is exactly what I was talking about when I said nothing's going to top this. This is why I am ending this game after this.
I had a feeling, when you said, I was like, it's a tie vote, isn't it? I knew it. And then, I just, the little subtleties and the way you were dropping hints, I'm like, it's going to be 3-3 for somebody. Oh my gosh. So, OSU, you were so consistent through the whole game and did a phenomenal job in everything. Pi, you had so many projects that were so memorable and stand out so much. It's such an impossible decision. It's there's no real right answer. You both were incredible throughout the entire game.
May I tempt you with a coin toss?
No. Even that World's Fair coin. All right, give me a second so we can do this the right way.
It's all good.
Hold on.
Honestly, I think winning would be nice, but not being the one to decide live on air is the biggest prize.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping that it would be 3-2-2. I didn't want to put this on anybody.
That's what I was hoping for as well.
I want you both to know that you were incredible to work with, and this is really, really, really difficult. And I hope you both know that this is really challenging and really hard to decide because you both deserve this. But my vote, the final vote ever, and so you want to be Imagineer, goes to the winner of All Stars.
Woo! Oh man!
Thank you.
OSU, it was really, really, really difficult to make this decision, especially like so quickly. You were phenomenal and a wonderful teammate, and I really hope you're going to stick around on the forums like you were saying, and that we'll get to work together a lot more. You deserved it just as much.
Oh yeah,
because because you had, like, I felt like the most memorable projects, and I think that was like the tipping point, because you both did such incredibly high quality work. Like, you know, it was like you killed it. Obviously, you both got 3 votes for jury, so please, it's an amazing second place for you. And Pi, congratulations. Love you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Pi. So well earned.
I mean, really, I could have gone to just about anyone in the cast and it would have been well earned. Like, this was such a fun season. I almost didn't come back for it, but I thought, yeah, one last ride. Let's do it. Let's get back in the forum. Everyone was just so much fun. Everyone seemed to really be enjoying themselves every game, but especially this game. Everyone was just giving it all, having a blast. It was just so great walking with all of you that I got to walk with. I love this.
Is it fair to say that the fucking Gaslight Project won Pi the season?
I was honestly going to look back and see. I want to look back and see who gave him the Gaslight.
Somewhat's vault. I think I opened it.
Right? Like, that kind of defined your whole game.
It really, I mean, it was just random luck that it happened to walk out that way right when I was trying to be like, okay, no longer taking things easy and trying to lay low. Time to go for it. Ooh, something I can be really dumb with. I'm just so glad I found this community of people who enjoy the same kind of dumb stuff I do. Like, so much of this season was just making projects because I don't know if anyone else is going to enjoy this, but I will. And I guess that would be my advice to anyone in future games. Just be yourself, because the more I've learned to be myself in my writing and do things I'm going to enjoy instead of what I think is going to be good, the better it's worked out for me and the more fun I've had.
That's what I'm going to have to try going forward. I mean, not that I'm not trying to always be myself. I think you all know that. But, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, your writing is so bombastic and just, like, so uniquely you. I like the Gaslighting Project for sure. But then, like, you always come up with these ridiculous ideas that in people's hands probably wouldn't work. The attraction that never happened with all the pre-shows, that was amazing. That was another standout one.
That was my favorite. I did.
I think it might have been my favorite too. Your superstar limo thing, like, as I was reading through that yesterday, I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a season.
All right. Pi, also, one thing I want to commend you on, man, is that I truly think that for me, the best So You Want to Be an Imagineers, the best winners have a flavor to them that really helps them stick out and define themselves. And yours is very obviously humor. And I think in that respect, I think this is the closest that we saw to Monkey winning the game. And I feel like you winning the game is almost kind of like a spiritual successor of Monkey going out in 4th place. So any other final thoughts, Pi, on being the season 20 winner, the final winner of this legendary game?
I mean, it's kind of funny that you mentioned Monkey and like his past things. I know you've talked about that in podcasts. I don't know this season, but in like past seasons of build-ups that like, oh, Monkey, how he a lot of times would stand out would be smaller things that are just overflowing with personality, and that was something that over the years, even though I didn't work with Monkey much until this season, inspired me. Like, yeah, no, do small things, but do it really well and do it really you. And this season, again, I embraced that more and more. So it's funny that you mentioned that because that was in the back of my head. So in a lot of ways, thank you, Monkey. You inspired this.
I just realized that this is the second major game that I've finished third to Pi and a 2-time winner of So You Want to Be an Imagineering.
Okay, OSU. Bro, we need to take a trip down memory lane for a minute, man, because we got
like 20 years ago?
Dude, it's got to be what? Like 15 at least?
At least. I was in middle school or something.
So OSU and I, like we are literally like the genesis of this whole Imagineering thing. Do you remember what the competition on Mouse Times was called?
I think it was called The Imagineer. It was just
Indeed.
The Imagineer.
It was just The Imagineer. Yes, yes. Which also was brought over to WDW Magic, I believe. Mater hosted a game that was called that. But so yeah, OSU, like, I remember that you and I, like, we would just kind of like hang out in like, you know, the threads and stuff and just kind of like bounce back and forth. Like, we got along with each other so well. And I think it's so cool that, like, you know, like, we've obviously been friends on Facebook forever, but we've not really, you know, it's been a long time since we've really like reached out, except for the occasional, like, you know, we'll reach out like when we're at Disney World or something like that. But I just think it's so cool that, like, all these years later you come on and, you know, because the whole time you've played So You Want to Be an Imagineer, I believe the first season that you played, you really only played season 6 and 7. And season 6, you got to a very similar position. I believe you were third place that season. You made the final 3. But you were very much kind of like an underdog who was kind of like, you know, in that final 3, it was going to be kind of obvious. Like, you know, you were the least active of that final 3. Here, man, I'm not going to lie. After the first couple rounds, you were my winner pick. Like, I think you did such a good job. You know, like, working with each individual person and getting on their level. And so your story kind of like, you know, coming in literally at the genesis point before So You Want to Be an Imagineer is even a thing, and then ending out now so strongly. Like, you know, in some ways, it is a shame that you didn't win, but because I think that would have been a really cool kind of bookend historically. But I think that you kind of dominating and, you know, literally like getting as close to winning as physically possible. I mean, I think it's a great kind of comeback, sort of historical, like, it's awesome. And much like Tegan, I really hope that you do stick around the community. I know you got a busy, you know, a busy personal life, but
I fully intend to stick around. I've had so much fun. This has been a great experience. Tegan, Pi, you've been awesome to work with, and everybody on the chat who I had a chance to work with, just great. And, you know, I think the fact that Tiki, 15, 20 years later, we met on a Disney community forum and just started chatting and became friends. And now fast forward, you know, 20 years and we're still doing this. And I think it's a really good example of how important and how awesome these online communities are, where you can make those unexpected friendships that are going to be able to create great things later on down the line. So this has just been so much fun. And like, I feel like a winner. I know I'm not the winner, but I feel like a winner because I really won in my own way of being able to come in, show what I can do, and to make it this far. I'm just so happy.
Totally. Tegan, before we get out of here, I would like to give you a chance to promote your competition.
Well, so What If is going to be starting the first Sunday of May. I'm going to open signups up pretty soon.
That's May 8th, right?
7th, I think.
Okay, just as long as it's past my Disney trip. We talked about this last night.
Yeah, I want to make sure that everybody's able to start, like, you know, at full strength and everything. So, but yeah, so May 7th, we're going to start. I'll open signups up probably pretty soon, honestly. Like, just keep up the momentum from this game. I'll definitely open like a hype thread soon. But so What If is going to be it's going to be a fun team-based game. Unlike So You Want to Be an Imagineer, there's not going to be any eliminations until the end. So the idea is it's going to be like a little bit more, I don't want to say laid back, but like definitely a little bit more approachable, I would say. Not as intense, but an emphasis on just fun and teamwork. And we're going to be going through a variety of Disney parks from all over the globe. And we're going to be kind of doing like little alternate timelines. Like, what if this was different? What if this had happened instead? Whatever. And it could be anything from like an individual ride to a full lander park as far as like what is in question. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be my first time completely hosting totally solo. And I'm looking forward to it. So, sign up and play. Let's keep the fun going this summer. It'll be a great time.
Right. Cool.
Sold.
Yeah. That's 3 people already. So
Goofy as the season's co-host, I would if you have any final words, go ahead. I'd like to give you the floor for a second.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of voiced my feelings and how glad I am to have gotten re-engaged with the community. Obviously, big congratulations to all 3 of you. Y'all were the 3 that whenever it started getting down towards the end, I was like, these are the 3 that deserve it. Personally, I'm really glad the person that I brought into the final 3 won. Pi, massive congratulations. You totally deserve it. You gaslit your way to a win, and I'm very, very happy to see that it worked. But yeah, this was a incredible season. I'm again very thankful that I had the opportunity to come in and host this final season. It was so much fun, and I hope that you guys, everybody that played, kind of felt that fun vibe that Tiki and I were bringing, and that we all had a great time. I think that that's something that everybody spoke about a lot. That this was such a fun couple of months being involved with the game.
All right. So I have one last announcement. Like I said, this is the end of the road for So You Want to Be an Imagineer, but it is not the end of the road for me as a host. Fall 2023, strap in. We're going to the year 2000. In the year 2000. I'm sorry. It's going to be the sequel to 1986. It's going to be 1986 sequel, the year 2000. Oh boy. So the year 2000, it's going to be, I will say this much. It will be the most, Colby, I'm sorry, do you have something lined up?
Yeah, he's got a comp for the fall.
Spring 2024.
Yay!
There we go.
But that's awesome, though, that we have. I feel like this community is in a little bit of an upswing. We've got comps to look forward to for literally a whole calendar year. So, yeah.
If you need a co-host
for year 2000.
Yeah, if you need a co-host.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit too early, especially with that revelation. It's a little bit too early to, be really nailing anything down. But yeah, I will probably, we can probably do something together for sure.
Letting you know, that's all.
Cool. All right. I will also say the year 2000 is going to be the most strategic Armchair Imagineering competition ever.
Ooh.
So yeah, look forward to that. Also, I'm not entirely sure what Casey's schedule is, but I do still want to see if he is down to do potentially an ORG Facebook version of the game. If he does, I will definitely I'm probably going to maybe hand recruit some folks that I know will be able to possibly do it. That's all kind of up in the air right now. That would be kind of it would take place over either 1 or 2 weekends, be recorded and edited together into a web series. So the future's looking bright. And yeah, I'd like to thank each and every one of you once again for joining us in this great season. I mean, it's really surreal that, I can put a cap on the game and, 20 seasons. I think it's a really excellent place to end, but I'm looking forward to future endeavors. I'm looking forward to continuing to be a part of the community. And yeah. All right, y'all. See y'all later. Peregron has converted me. I'm going to go climb some rock walls.